It's Saturday, 9 December 2017, and welcome to Navigating Your Day. So in Jin Shin Jyutsu, 9 came into the universe, meaning the end of an old cycle serves as the beginning of a new. And so 9 is a unique number in the number sequence because the numbers go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then the next one is a 10, and 10, 1 and 0 is a 1. So 9 serves as an end of the previous cycle and then a springboard into the new. So you can look at it, if you look at it in cycles of 9 years, the 9th year is about transforming and healing everything that's happened in the previous 8 years, discarding what doesn't serve you, realizing what you want to keep. It's like a massive spring clean, and then you go into the next 9-year cycle with what you've kept from the previous 9 or learned from the previous 9. So 9 is the potential for transformation and healing, but usually only if we're prepared to go and do the reflection and discard what doesn't serve us and decide, make a decision. This serves me, and this is what I'm going to continue doing. This no longer serves me, so I'm going to find a new way of doing this. 9 is the child. The essence of 9 is the child. So 9s are about having fun, about being engaged with something that interests them, about learning how the world works, having a natural curiosity about everything around you. So if you think about a young child, they stick things in their mouth. They want to touch stuff. They want to pull things. They chuck things down to say, oh, to like see, oh, this is what happens when you drop something. It falls on the floor. It breaks. Children are naturally curious and they want to learn about the world around them. And what they learn about the world around them then forms their perspective of how the world works. And so that's the potential that we have today. Children know how to play, right? And playing is the way in which they learn. So it is essential that they get fed good food, that they have enough sleep, and that they nap, and that they play. So those are the takeouts for what we should do today, possibly to align ourselves with this energy. Then, of course, we have the 3 in the life map, which is about aligning our will with divine will. And then we have the 1 of 2017 as well. So we've got fire and air and the 9. 9, because it is a unique number, it actually has a smattering of all the elements in it. So there is some water, there's some earth, there's some air, there's some fire in that 9, together with the fire and the air of the other 2 numbers in the life map. The potential here is that you may be too starry-eyed, you may be too naive, you may be too trusting, you may be too, rainbows, unicorns, love and light, and not realistic enough, too innocent. And that innocence also is about not taking responsibility very often. So, you have to take responsibility for your actions. If you look at the previous 9 years and you realize that half of it was shit and didn't work for you, well, it's about your choices. So you can't control circumstance, but you can control the choices you make, and you can control your reaction or your response. And that's what we need to take responsibility for. It's much easier to blame something outside of us for our life circumstance than it is to take responsibility. And this is one of the what shall we say, the downsides of the 9, is that very often they choose only to have the starry-eyed view, or actually the opposite. They choose to see that it's actually only shit and murk and awful, and my life sucks, and everybody did everything to me, and it's so unfair. And they carry their wounds around with them like a 700 million kilogram pack on their back, and they never get to the point where they take responsibility for choosing a different or a better way. So that's the potential downside of the 9 today. 3 allows us to expand. So 3 expands everything. So whatever perceptions you may have will be expanded by the 3. Now, if that's negative, it's going to expand the negative. And if it's positive, it's going to expand the positive. And if it's neutral, it's going to expand that ability to see that everything actually consists of equal and opposite sides, because we live in this dualistic universe, and that in actuality everything is actually neutral. And when we can do this, we can integrate more parts of ourselves, as I've said the whole of this month so far, and then we can step into who we really are. For now, this is who I am. This is the best version of me right now. And when we do that, we give everyone around us permission to be the best versions of themselves right now. One thing I just want to say about 9s as well is they're highly intuitive. So please listen to your gut feeling today, right? Don't do stuff that just doesn't feel right, because it could be your intuition that is enhanced by this 9 energy today speaking to you. Our hero today is the 4, and the 4 is an earth number, so it helps to keep us grounded. It does help to keep us real. It helps to keep us within our boundaries. It also helps to take us outside of our boundaries. So 4 is the big picture seer. 4 is the visionary, all right? 4 is the one that sees how everything fits together. 4 is the one that can appreciate that in actuality, this is a neutral universe, actually, and that our reality is skewed by being supported or challenged in terms of our value system. So 4 can help us truly see the balance today and see the big picture. The lesson today, or the villain today, happens to also be a 4. Now, this is interesting. When the hero and the villain are the same, they can either cancel each other out, or you can run into one of both sides, either the more positive side or the more negative side. When we have a 4 in the villain position, 4 in the villain position makes us blind to our deficiencies, or what we're not looking at, or what we're not taking responsibility for. So 4 in that lesson, in the villain position, is actually about a lack of integrity. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean lying to other people. It's mostly about lying to yourself, right? So as I said earlier, it's much easier to blame circumstance than it is to take responsibility, and that's the danger of having the 4 in the villain position. So when you do that, then you want to go to the big picture, which is the 4 in the hero position. And that enables you to see that actually your life is about the choices you make. You can't control the circumstances, but you can control the choices. You can control your response and your reaction. And if you don't know how to do that, you can also ask for help and get people who can potentially are stepping outside. They're the big picture seers, because they're not mired in whatever the difficulty is that you have. And so when they can see the big picture, sometimes they can help to pull you into the big picture, and that can stop the cycle of negativity. Safety energy lock number 9 is located on the thumb. And the thumb, as you know by now, balances the stomach and spleen organ function energy. It harmonizes worry and anxiety, and it balances the head and heart function. So it balances the intellect and the emotion. And when we have balanced intellect and emotion, the intellect is at this particular chakra, the brow chakra, the emotion is the heart chakra, and located between the two is the will. And this is from the point from which we take action. So when we have a balance between the head and the heart, then our action becomes more aligned with what is truly valuable to us. So hold your thumb today so that you can align with what is truly valuable to you. You can balance your head and your heart, and you can take aligned, inspired action. I hope you have an amazing Saturday, and I'll see you again tomorrow.